Matches below. Hey guys, Max Balone here, bringing you guys another DC Toy Box TV review. Today we're going to be looking at the DC Collectibles, DC Comics Icons, Black Adam. So like always guys, before we get into the actual figure review, I do want to go over the packaging. Here we have the box. It is an open window box where you would see the Black Adam action figure and all his accessories surrounding him. You do get to read DC Comics right there. We get the Icons logo with the O doubling for the characters logo. DC Collectibles. On the side, you do get a character's name, Black Adam. Right here on top, we do get a stylized 7. On the other side, we get the same stylized 7. Black Adam is the 7th figure in this toy line and is the 3rd figure of Wave 2. We get a Black Adam logo, DC Comics Icons, Black Adam, Forever Evil, DC Collectibles. Forever Evil is the story where this character design is based off. On the back, we do get to see all of Wave 2 except for the deluxe Hal Jordan figure. We do get close-up images for the other action figures. DC Comics, Icons, we get a sculptor and a designer. And we get the DC Comics logo once again, and that is pretty much it for the packaging. Now, the figure itself is pretty cool. I gotta say, he is the biggest DC Comics icon so far in scale of muscle alone. He seems to be a very buff action figure. Now, he does come with 4 extra accessories, and that is 2 extra pair of hands. Right here, you can clearly see these are the premier hands. These are electricity hands, if you will. I think they look really great. These are all one solid plastic piece. You can kind of see right there that they just stopped making the rest of the fingers and it went straight into the electricity. I do gotta say it does look a little weird, but overall it still looks pretty cool. I do like that the electricity is some type of translucent plastic, so when the light does reflect on it, it kind of seems to light up. So I think that's pretty cool. The other extra sets of hands are just pretty much open hands. They do look like they want to grip onto something, but he doesn't have anything to hold. But yeah. And then the hands the figure already comes with are these closed-fisted hands. So they definitely look great. Like I said, this guy is pretty large in just the muscles alone. He has a DC Comics icon, so he has pretty much the same articulation as any. The head, you could rotate it side to side and all the way around if you guys so choose to. Do keep warned that these figures tend to be very, very stiff, so you are going to have to give it just that little bit of extra push when rotating the head or really moving any of the joints on your action figure. The arms themselves, they do move outward and inward. You could move it forward and back. The cape does touch the arm, but it is a very soft, not very soft, but it is somewhat of a soft plastic or rubber, I'm not sure. So it does give you just a little bit of play, a little bit of room for you to you could still rotate the arm. So that's not a problem. Right here, he does have a rotation on the upper arm. He does have double jointed elbows. You can already see the big biceps this guy has. He does have rotation right here at the wrist, and you could move the hand inward and outward. So that's pretty awesome. He does have an ab crunch. It's not that great. This is as much forward as he goes, and that is pretty much all of DC Comics icons. He could move back, but again, that's pretty much it, so it's not that great. This is a separate piece, so you could see this is not going to hinder it in any way. He could rotate his upper chest Just again, guys, it is a very stiff figure, so you are going to have to give it a little nudge. I did make the mistake of all of my Wave 1 reviews. I said it did not have one, and it was simply because it was so stiff, it didn't seem like it was going to move at all. So yeah, just keep that in mind. The legs themselves, they go this far apart. Now, for whatever reason, I feel like his left leg seems to be moving a little more outward than his right leg. It could just be me. It could just be my action figure. But just want to point that out to you guys. The leg itself can move this much forward and this much back. And again, it is moving outward instead of backward. So keep that in mind. The knees are just like the elbows. They are double jointed. So that's pretty good. This is a separate boot sculpt, so he does have a calf cut and you could rotate it. The foot itself also can move forward and back. And he does get to move the foot side to side when it is in the front and when it is in the back. So again, pretty good articulation overall in this action figure. Paint and design, I gotta say he does seem a little simple. And that's not a knock on the action figure itself. It's just the character design of Black Adam. He does pretty much have an all black suit. Some of the design language for the New 52 in the sense of adding all these kind of textured lines and ridges into the costume, they did try to sculpt in. If you kind of reflect the light off, you could see there are some extra lines on the bodysuit itself. So I do think it is really good. He's not this dark or the gold is not this bright. It is just a little bit toned down overall. Again, I believe just the illumination of this area is kind of playing with a little bit of the light when it comes to the camera. um, so he's not as dark as this, and the gold is more of a much more I want to say bronze. It's not that bright of a gold, but still looks really great. I do like this. This seems to be more of a picture. But in the New 52, Shazam and Black Adam seem to have actual electricity going through their logo. So I do like that they put that picture to kind of reflect that. I understand why to put this as a separate piece. I just wish it wasn't. I am afraid that after a while it is going to end up looking like that, or maybe a rip off or something. So I would have liked it was either sculpted on all of it or just painted on. I'm not sure, but like I'm not exactly the biggest fan of having this separate piece. It's not that bad. I understand why they did it, so I'm not gonna hassle too much on that. I do like these extra, again, sculpting within the belt and the gauntlets. They just look really good. And the belt itself is a soft plastic or rubber, I'm not sure, but it is separate from the actual body mold. So I think that's a really nice touch. Again, gives that idea of this is a real belt. So it looks really cool, really awesome. But yeah, overall he still looks pretty badass, even though it is just mainly two colors. I think his face is pretty good. Um, I'm not sure what type of emotion they're trying to portray with Black Adam here. His all white eyes, I don't know. I don't know if that's supposed to be menacing or just weird. Um, so I would have liked a different expression on him, even if it was just an open mouth, just to really go across that he's angry or something. But right here, I'm not sure what Black Adam is thinking of. The cape itself is like I keep saying, I'm not sure if it's soft plastic or rubber. I'm pretty sure it is a rubber. But it is pretty good. I like that it's not just all the way down draping over the body. It does kind of seem to move outward a little bit. I do like that they do kind of mold it in these like wrinkles within the cape itself to kind of again keep it more of this illusion that this is real cloth. Also, in the New 52, Black Adam and Shazam, they do have hoodies on their cape, almost like think of like Red Riding Hood. And so I do like that they do went ahead and again mold that like this is the cape and it's not just more wrinkles from. I mean, this is the hood and not just more wrinkles from the cape. So I do like that. If you guys see my Green Arrow review, he does have a hood over it, but the hood does hinder the head a little bit. So I do like that Black Adam doesn't have his hood over his head. Um, I think that's definitely great. I like these little like rips and tears on the bottom. Again, you can kind of see this kind of like molding line across. I guess it kind of portrays stitching and whatnot. And if you kind of look close to these cuts, there are some more textured lines. So overall, I think this is a pretty great action figure. Like I said, he is extremely buff. I mean, look at that bicep right there. That is pretty huge compared to the other action figures. And again, that makes sense. Black Adam is a pretty big guy. Just trying to stand him up a little bit. You will have to play and fidget with him just a tad bit, but he does do a pretty good job standing on his own. And that is, again, throughout all of these comics icons. But like I said, he is a pretty big guy. To give you guys a little bit of comparison, I do have the DC Comics icons, the Flash. And again, I have to fidget with him a little bit. And I do have the DC Comics icons, Blue Beetle. And I think this is a really great comparison of different body types. Black Adam is a pretty big guy. He does fight Shazam. He does fight Superman. So it is a great style choice to make him a pretty big dude. Blue Beetle is a teenager, so he is a lot scrawnier and shorter compared to Black Adam. And even though Barry Allen is a grown adult and he does have some muscle to him, it is nowhere in comparison to Black Adam, who is, again, still just a tad bit taller than the Flash. So I think in scale, they do a pretty good job. Just already 3 of these figures of Wave 2, and they do look like they belong to one another. They don't look like they are from different toy lines. So if you are going to invest in this toy line, be assured that they are going to look good with one another. I would recommend him to any of you Black Adam fans out there. If any of you, Shazam fans in general, I think he is a great choice. I think the lightning hands are pretty badass. If you guys are DC Collectible fans, I then recommend it to you guys. And if you guys are action figure fans in general, keep in mind that the DC Comics icons tend to be just a tad bit smaller. So if you guys are going to put them up with other action figures from different companies, they might be a little bit on the shorter side. But yeah, like always, guys, comment down below. Like the video, you guys like it. Dislike it if you didn't. And subscribe. Laters.